Okay, hello friends. And Nikhil is again with us. Friends, you might be surprised by seeing the thumbnail of this video because last time we have done one session with Nikhil on Scrum Master interview question and kind of session which we have done with Nikhil. And this time we are doing business analyst interview with Nikhil. So friends, Nikhil has weared a lot of different caps in his career: business analyst, Scrum Master, project manager. And this interview with HSBC, I think he's given 5 to 6 months back. And we are just having a conversation, and then this thing came up, and then I told him to let's shoot one more session on business analyst because we are getting a lot of requests on business analyst as well. And Nikhil agreed on that. So thank you, Nikhil, and welcome one more time, Nikhil, on our channel. And yeah, glad you are here again one more time, Nikhil.
Yes, and then thank you for the opportunity again. Uh, I can't find
Good,
words to
good.
thank you. The work that you're doing.
Yes,
Uh,
friends, if you've not seen that video, Scrum Master, I think that was a fabulous session which we have done with Nikhil with Deloitte. And I think that session already hit, I think, 8 to 9,000 views by now, I think. So that's good, Nikhil. And let's start with this session now without taking more time. Shall we?
yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so what is your role and responsibility as a business analyst? So that was the first question.
Roles and responsibility as a business analyst. You know, um, as a business analyst, I have comprehensive experience in requirements gathering and analysis, creating context and technical documents, project management techniques, testing and deployment areas of the project. I have strengths on, you could say, knowledge in finance, banking, insurance, and investment banking domains. Uh, One of my recent projects with Compass Bank as a business analyst, the project aimed at integrating and customizing the CRM system for the bank. Um, I was responsible for designing, analyzing, and writing all the specifications and business requirements for this project. I was also responsible for managing backend system as well as piloting other submodules of this project. My key responsibilities included conducting meetings, chat sessions with stakeholders, analyzing and documenting requirements in terms of a solution that needs to be uh, come up with. I was involved in creating business requirement documents, wireframes, mockups, UML diagrams, test cases, user acceptance testing plans as part of the document deliverables for this project. I used different business and software applications such as MS Word, Microsoft Excel, Visio, MS Visio, SharePoint Access, SQL. Uh, I was involved in all the major phases of the system development, right from initiation until deployment. I closely work with fellow business analysts, project managers, quality analysts throughout my role as a business analyst. I also have experience in business requirement elicitation and analysis, and technical documentations, your UAT, managing change requests as part of the post go live support for the project. Um, Again, at the same time, I also have extensive experience in creating solutions to complex business problems through process analysis and design, process re-engineering, process automation. Uh, I have experience in conducting workshops, facilitating workshops and sessions with which now also have helped me now that I'm working as a Scrum Master. Uh, Sessions with subject matter experts for product integration, upgrades, or enhancement that need to be done. Continuous improvement initiatives using Six Sigma, and UML toolkit. I also have in-depth understanding of the complete software development lifecycle and end-to-end project delivery process in various environments, including, waterfall, agile, Scrum, Lean, XP.
Okay, okay. Thanks a lot, Nikhil, for your detailed explanation about role and responsibility. Great. Okay, so tell me, like, what exactly the business analyst is going to solve? So, what problem you are going to solve as a business analyst? Can you just share one or two examples with that?
Yes. See, as a business analyst, you could say is a bridge between the client and the IT team. Uh, so a business analyst solves multiple business and stakeholder problems, starting from identifying the requirements, analyzing those requirements, designing and implementing, have some kind of implementation done that suffices what stakeholders are requesting. Um, Business analyst solves the business clients problems, or defines the solutions in terms of requirements, and provides a functional solution to the IT team, which is, easier for them to grasp. Business analyst again is also responsible for managing change requests throughout the project. Say in an agile or Scrum framework, you know, if change requirements uh, are encouraged often, so the role of a BA is, I mean, you can't really compare different methodologies, but the way you go about the handling those change requirements in a certain methodology is different. Again, business analyst is responsible for creating scenarios or narratives, and there are various business strategies and processes for successful implementation of the project. Business analyst also micromanages the project deliverables and manages the team, which eventually leads to project success. So I could, an example would be in one of the projects that I worked on. You the client was requesting, uh, what was it? Sorry, I have a kitty that's playing with me right now, and she's at the bottom, so I'm kind of distracted. But uh, yeah, it was a loan management system that the client wanted the changes done to the existing loan management system that they had for the bank. So I had to, do an analysis of how the current loan management system works or is working, and then what need, you know, what the stakeholders wanted to implement it. So I had gathered the requirements, analyzed those, created wireframes and mockups for the team. So the requirements to them are easily visible, or you could say, and make them understand better of what needs to be achieved as a team.
Okay, thanks, Nikhil. And what are the different documents a business analyst prepare normally?
Uh, See the documents. If it's waterfall, uh, like in a waterfall methodology, you have a business requirement document. Uh, uh, so it's BRD, SRD, and FRD. The BRD is a business requirement document intended to provide high-level business and stakeholder requirements. It's generally created by the business analyst during the initiation phase of a project. Whereas software requirement specifications, which is SRS, is intended to provide a detailed log of functional and non-functional requirements, accompanied with use cases, uh, and can be developed by either the business analyst, or uh, I mean business analyst, or if there's a role specific to, if you know the client or the one who has the requirements, if they have somebody who can provide us that document, it can be worked on by them. Again, an SRS document is usually worked upon during the planning phase. A functional requirement specifications, alternately also called as a functional requirement document (FRD), is created with comprehensively taking into consideration the provided functional requirements to the end user. It is often accompanied by UML diagrams, including data flows, entity relationship diagrams, or activity or how the flow works. Usually, an implementation can lead to uh, I mean, BA works with the developers, uh, and then BA is the one seeing the documents. He's the one who works on these documents. Um, Again, a BID can be prepared even when a BA may only have access to high-level project requirements. However, an SRS or an FRD can only be prepared when low-level solution requirements have been fleshed out. Um, in an agile environment, we usually, if it's Scrum, we a business analyst, he works on user stories and acceptance criteria with the product owner. There's not a lot of documentation emphasis on in an agile framework, but again, BA uh, would work on user stories or features, and also have provide wireframes or mockups to help the team understand those requirements better.
Okay.
Sorry, I get confused now with the Scrum Master and BA, so I was just so, pardon me if I go talking about Scrum Master. You can stop me there if I do that.
That's okay. That's okay. Okay. So, Nikhil, do you know about this JAD, Joint Application Development or Design? Sometimes it's called.
Yes, JAD stands for Joint Application Development or Design. Again, GAD is requirement design and software development methodology in which stakeholders or let's say subject matter experts, the end users, software architects, uh, and the project team attend these meetings to get an outline of, say, system's high-level scope or requirements. A JAD session focuses on business problems rather than technical details. Um, a harmonized group synergy, effective leadership, and excellent coordination skills of the facilitator are key for a successful JAD session. The purpose of the JAD session is to bring together the IT and business community in a structured way, a structured workshop setting in order to extract high-level system scope requirements. JAD sessions are usually conducted during the initiation phase of a project. However, they can be held on a regular basis, if the stakeholders and if there's a need, they can be held on a regular basis. And the key participants in the JAD session include the project managers, business analysts, stakeholders, the development team, the stakeholders that are concerned or have interest uh, in the project. Generally, JAT sessions are led by a project manager, accompanied by a business analyst. Although business analysts can also facilitate JAT sessions on an ongoing basis, depending on the availability and how they want to do that. Again, JAD session leverages group dynamics, extensive use of visual aids, documentation, prototypes, and organized process design to gather and define requirements in a shorter time frame. Again, JAD also reduces the amount of time needed to gather requirements, shortening the overall development or the duration of gathering the requirements. in effective JAT session could get a lot of requirements, and I mean, then it's the business analyst's job to get those requirements and get them, you know, let's say, rechecked with the stakeholders if there's a need as to what needs to be delivered.
Okay, thank you, Nikhil. Okay, so thanks, Nikhil, for that. And would you like to tell us about the different requirement gathering technique which you have used so far in the past?
Yes, in my experience, multiple requirement gathering techniques can be used in a single workshop session to gather requirements from stakeholders. We just spoke about JAD sessions, workshops that can also help us uh, get the requirements, like a lot of requirements can be gathered in one workshop. I would like to explain interviews and brainstorming techniques that I've used in my throughout my experience. Interviews are the most common approach used to gather requirements. This technique establishes one-on-one relationship between the facilitator, that would be the business analyst, and the stakeholders. Uh, Interviews can be structured or non-structured or unstructured. Uh, Structured requirements are the ones where a business analyst prepares questions prior to the meeting. In an unstructured interview session, questions can be formed spontaneously, depending on how the session goes, and so you can have a counter question based on the meeting discussion. Both techniques can be used simultaneously or separately in a session. Before conducting interview sessions, I prepare the meeting agenda, questions, topics, or that need to be discussed, and have a checklist of tasks that need to be accomplished in, in that session. I strategize my questions to be open-ended and close-ended. Uh, the other technique that I want to talk about is brainstorming. Again, brainstorming is an excellent requirements gathering technique, which promotes innovative thinking for a given problem. In my last job, I conducted several brainstorming sessions with a focus on extracting as many stakeholder views and opinions as possible on any given scenario or requirement. In this approach, I aim to acquire a comprehensive understanding of a requirement by encouraging the stakeholders to provide a pool of ideas rather than just giving you know limiting those ideas. Um, this technique again helps to gather multiple ideas, which can later be evaluated according to the importance of the project, and can be further distributed to the stakeholders.
Okay, thanks, Nikhil, for that. Okay, so and what is your experience in conducting UAT? So you guys are also present during the UAT phase?
User acceptance testing, yes.
Yeah.
I have remarkable experience in preparing and conducting UAT sessions with the stakeholders. Typically, UAT sessions are conducted with users prior to system deployment. In my recent project, we deployed system releases every 3 months, and I conducted UAT sessions before each release. Um, in preparation for the UAT sessions, I prepared a UAT plan document, which mainly covers project deliverables, uh, change requirements management plan, test cases, and test data. Once prepared, I shared this document with the stakeholders prior to the meeting, and so if there's any clarification that's needed, that can be done before the meeting, and schedule a kickoff meeting when it's required, when and if it's required. Um, while in a UAT session, I provide a system walkthrough and encourage stakeholders to perform testing of the product by executing major test cases. Um, I generally offer relevant test data or training manuals that they can use to support the testing. Uh, the ultimate objective of this activity is to get the approval of the stakeholders on this session, the user acceptance testing. Change requests derived from the sessions are analyzed carefully uh, within project team, with the project team, and I usually conduct a follow-up session to resolve if there are any issues that come up during the session with the stakeholders.
Okay, thanks, Nikhil, for that. Okay, and what about business case? Can you just share like what is business case and what is your experience in creating one?
Sure, Sunand. Yes, business case is a proposal document created by the project team to convince the decision makers of the project or the project sponsors to approve the project or give us the funding that's needed to open. A well-crafted business case explores all feasible approaches to a given problem and allows business owners to select the option that you know tends to what the organization needs or needs to be achieved. An ideal business case offers strategic solutions and benefits for the proposed problems that mm, team or, might be facing. It contains the problem statement, objective, also the proposed solutions, and analysis of where I've used techniques like SWOT, market, best, risk, like cost benefit, finance, etc. Um, can I'm professional in creating. I have experience in creating business case document, both for my new project or change management activities or initiatives that can be taken. In my last role, I was part of a project team that created a business case document during our project initiation phase. I was the lead business analyst responsible for conducting the market and financial analysis for this particular business case document. So,
Okay, okay, thanks, Nikhil. And what are the different ways by which you identify your risk or how you manage your risk in your project, Nikhil?
yes. So again, risk management is one of the most important aspects of business analysis. Um, it is, you could say, it is one of the core responsibilities that a business analyst is expected to perform throughout, the project lifecycle. Um, Overhanging requirements, hybrid approach to software development, or scope creep or vague requirements can all lead to requirement risk, and the project can get derailed. So business analysts handle such risk by maintaining risk registry. A risk register includes a risk ID, risk details, the consequences that that might have, the impact it might have on the project, priority of that, or even a probability or the risk, some kind of risk level or risk modification plan, and also information of the risk owner, something like that uh, can be handled by or is handled by the BA. I believe a competent business analyst performs the risk analysis by identifying areas that may adversely affect the solution, by understanding their impact, communicating those consequences to the uh, people or that need to be, I mean, communicate to the concerned authorities or persons, and developing a risk mitigation plan for that for the management. It is recommended to communicate newer risks or statuses on existing risk to the stakeholders, which is something that needs to be done. Um, I have confidently and effectively demonstrated these practices of risk management in all my previous projects. This approach has led me to deliver the projects successfully and manage risk components efficiently when they come, if they come up.
Okay, thank you, Nikhil, for that. Okay, so let's move on. The other aspect is about the stakeholder management. So there are a lot of stakeholder business people within and outside your project, right? So
Yes.
how you deal with all those stakeholders, Nikhil?
So you mean like some kind of conflict uh, that I had encountered with stakeholders?
No, no, I'm asking about how you identify that which stakeholder is important for you.
Okay.
You do some kind of
Oh, how
analysis,
do?
stakeholder
Yes.
part, things like that.
Yes. 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 Again, yes. Stakeholders are individuals who are part of the project team with a vested interest in the project development. The term stakeholder generally refers to clients, users, customers, or subject matter experts. Um, Analyzing stakeholders, stakeholder analysis technique defines how the stakeholders or stakeholder may impact the solution for a given project, or be impacted by how they can impact by themselves. Um, Business analysts carry out a stakeholder analysis to determine what their interests are, what kind of, how their behavior is, or what kind of level of involvement they have in the project. Again, stakeholder analysis can also be used to identify potential project risks in an early stage, of the project development. I have used different types of race stakeholder analysis techniques, including stakeholder matrix, the RACI matrix, which is you know identify them in one who's responsible, someone who's accountable, someone who can be consulted, or someone who needs to be informed. Again, power to interest ratio is also one of the techniques that I've used. But usually, RACI matrix is most widely used stakeholder analysis technique, which correlates to the relations with predefined project deliveries. Uh, yeah. Again, like I spoke about a power to interest, or it's also known as influence grid, is another stakeholder analysis technique that classifies stakeholders power and interest in a given project. Um, it is represented in four quadrants, and each quadrant denotes power versus the interest ratio. So, for example, high power, high interest, high power, low interest, low power, high interest, or you have low power, low interest. So each stakeholder or stakeholders' names or position is added to each of the quadrants as per uh, the PI distribution in the organization. So these are the techniques that I've used to
Okay. Okay, thanks, Nikhil, for that. And you just talk about conflicts, right, within the team and outside. So, what is your take on that? Let's say if some of your business, want to do something which is not in line with what is your thought process, or if there can be any kind of conflict, right, within your within inside or outside your team. So, how you manage all those kind of conflicts, Nikhil?
um, in terms of, okay. I would like to talk about my recent project where I had to deal with conflicting views of stakeholders during the requirements gathering workshop. Our workshop was intended to finalize the requirements related to various roles associated with the staff management module of the project. The subject matter experts and technical stakeholders had, you know, dissenting views of the domain and how the project, the functionalities for the project. Um, the domain group's understanding and their request was to accommodate 10 generic roles in order to manage various hierarchies in the organization. Furthermore, these roles were not defined by the domain group, which led to the technical team to question the implementation of such an incomplete information that was brought up. Um, I use my analytical and problem-solving skills to evaluate the entire situation and decided to gather information separately from these groups uh, for the moment or temporarily at that time. This approach allowed me to focus on both groups, what they were thinking, what their rationale was from differing, the requirements. Uh, Using my technical skills, I created wireframes to demonstrate the system design. Based on further discussion with the group, I suggested four master roles, one for an advisor, one for a supervisor, one for a manager, and an additional role for access. This additional role met the domain group's need for having the flexibility to create multiple roles within the system as and when required. Um, Both the groups accepted the solution, and we were able to proceed, you know, with only with these well-refined requirements. This this solution also allowed the technical team to easily incorporate with the backend system design. Uh, by channeling effective stakeholder management and communicating, uh, uh, you know, communi- um, communicating with them, I was able to identify the right business requirements and resolve the conflict and create an workable environment. From all my past experience, I can conclude that conflicts are are bound to happen in any project, but it is their thoughtful management that can harmonize relationships without risking the timely implementation of what needs to be achieved.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Nikhil, for that. Okay. And if you could just tell us, or if you can describe any time in the past, if you have introduced any new idea or process to your project, and how that particular idea has improved your project situation. So that will be great if you can just share some of your real life example.
Yes, yes, certainly, Asman. Um, I'd like to talk about from while I was working at Hibernian National Bank. I was a lead BA on a COTS project. COTS is commercial off the shelf or commercially available off the shelf project uh, implementation that was needed to be done. Um, as under my business process management perspective, the first and foremost issue at hand was to standardize and streamline many similarly aimed processes into something which reduces you know dependencies or further refines the process. um, I started the project by inheriting many such redundant and time consuming processes, as it had been a few years since any business process re-engineering had been done in the organization. I initiated a discussion with key internal partners and drew people's attention to features that required updates. I formed a mid-sized team of 8 participants and created a gap analysis document for that. I geared the review approach on items that had the most important, most impact on COTS software implementation, and gradually worked my way through areas that had less impact on it. Again, regular process review meetings offered members a chance to brainstorm ideas, design ideas, um, designed at, I also designed at improving the current processes and uh, have a plan to develop new processes that need to be done. By clearing, defining roles and users, and outlining associated tasks, it gave a way to eliminate unnecessary requirements. A pilot launch of the new initiative was undertaken for a 6-month period, and adjustments were made to fine tune, ongoing review and monitoring the activities that on a regular basis. Um, am confident to say that the organization truly benefited from this approach, and I was credited to be a significant reason for the success of this project. So that's something that I could say was something that I brought up and was able to improve the situation at hand.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Nikhil. Okay. Okay, so as a business analyst, how you guys handle failure, if any? And if you want to share anything with respect to failure and how you come up strongly on that.
See, I consider even a small issue in a project like not meeting the client's requirement on time as a failure. I like to be professional and proactive in terms of my work commitments, regardless of the methodologies or processes that are being followed. This strategy allows me to stay on top of my task and also strike a balance between the project scope and the timeline without getting failures affect my performance for a long time. In my last project, we had missed the implementation day by say a few days, which was mainly attributed to unexpected personal issues faced by two of my key members in my team. I was the business analyst. As a business analyst, I didn't foresee such a situation that would, have adverse consequences on the project or the delivery of the project. As anyone going through a tough time may do, the performance of the team members started deteriorating. My mistake being I failed to flag the situation to the senior management early on and have a plan to mitigate that. Nevertheless, as we missed one scheduled date after that, I was quick enough to realize where we had gone wrong and ask for additional resources. Looking back, I can say redefining the scope and asking for the timely help were my two biggest learnings. Um I take pride in knowing that a calm and composed head and determination to strike back with improved zeal, you know, can handle failure, and you know, so that's one of the ways that you could handle failure as a business analyst, and not make it a habit.
Okay, okay, Nikhil. Okay, and if I ask, what is your one greatest strength and one greatest weakness?
Okay. While working as a BA all these years, I've sharpened my analytical thinking or problem solving along with competent business and analyst skills. I've also developed project management skills, including time and resource management. This has allowed me to manage project deliverables even under tight timelines and limited resources. I thrive on new challenges and look for avenue to gain as much knowledge as I can. uh, I thoroughly enjoy reading business articles and connecting with industry experts to gain, their insights. I have, domain-specific expertise in areas of banking, retail, insurance, and along with technical skill. So you could say, this, these or this would be my strengths. And as far as weakness, you could say sometimes I spend more than more time than that's necessary on a single task, or take on tasks personally that could easily be assigned to someone else. Although I strive not to miss a deadline, it is still an effort for me to know when to move on to the next task. To overcome this, I've started assigning priorities to my tasks and organize project deliverables accordingly. Again, at times I struggle with delegating tasks to team members due to trust and performance reasons, uh, that they may not be able to accomplish the tasks within the given time frame and with the same quality. To get rid of this, I've started defining milestones and deliverables before handling work to anyone. This approach has usually benefited me and others in my team, as the trust and working relationship has improved. So not much, but I could say this worked over the years.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Nikhil. And I think we are now at end of our session. We have covered a lot of questions today. And I really thank you. You have taken your time and explained in detail all these questions. So again, thank you, Nikhil, and hope to see you again in future in some more sessions, Nikhil. I know you are quite
Yes,
busy, but then yes.
not an issue. So anytime we'll connect again. Yes.
Sure, sure. Okay. Thank you, Nikhil. Thank you once again. And I hope, friends, you have learned something new from this session. If yes, please give a big thumbs up. And yeah, see you in one more session. So bye, everyone. Thank you for watching.